Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Lukas Hanson of, well, can you mind if I say it? Of Lead Prep Academy, formerly of Rochester. Well, for a few more days at time of recording. I know graduation is a few days away, but how about that? You're almost done. Graduation will be here before you know it, and yeah, you mean you're done with like going to school every day. How's what's life been like?
It's been very, very relaxed, not any homework, nothing really to look forward to, honestly, besides like hanging out with my family and just small family events and then finishing up the school year stuff. So that's it.
So when you look, I know we've talked about a lot of things like, since before we started recording, but we were talking about all the things that, you've been able to do this year and you've accomplished quite a bit in your 4 years at Rochester. But um, I'm sure you've had some time to look back and think back about everything that happened. What were some of the biggest things that you can take away from your experiences playing sports, going to school, all that?
Honestly, I think discipline is probably the top thing that anyone can take away from, playing sports or just going to school in general. So.
Yeah. I know that um, I know football did not go the way that obviously the record wise it didn't, I should say that. Record wise it didn't go the way that you wanted, but you still had a pretty good experience playing football and all that. So obviously you'll be continuing your football career. Um, but what was it like playing high school football? It's always something people look forward to when they come up from middle school to high school. Um, but what was it like? Because you came into high school after probably the weirdest year of um your schooling life, coming off of an eighth grade COVID year. But what was uh what was high school like for you? Like when you first walked in, all that stuff.
Honestly, it was kind of scary, made a lot of people nervous, especially me. I had just a small like friend group and going into high school was definitely scary, but over time that went away really quickly. So, especially playing football, I met tons of new people and learned a lot of new things and it was just a breeze from then on.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you took away from playing football?
Definitely like talking to people. I think like socializing and just like quick decisions are definitely like the main type of thing like social wise is what I took away from football.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing, like, for you is also just developing as a player overall. I mean, playing on both sides of the ball this year, what was that experience like for you, Lucas?
It was really tough. Our coaches put us through a lot. Um, it can definitely be mentally tough and you have to be mentally strong, but it was definitely a lot of work, both playing on both sides and you know other sports and then school. So
Mhm. Like what's the most memorable play from your high school football career that you'll remember?
I had a touchdown versus Dakota. That was probably my favorite, uh, one of my most memorable plays.
Okay. Also winning a district title in basketball had to
Yep.
be a fun thing as
Yes.
well. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, that was great. Like the energy and just everything about that team was just like amazing, especially, you know, against the team we played and all that just like came together and just the energy was just at its peak right there.
Yeah. For you, I think just, going through this senior year and getting to do all these things, is it like if you like, do you ever look back at the person that entered Rochester and now the person that left, how different that person is?
100%. Yeah, I see, I look back and I just see my like eighth grade, seventh grade self just like goofy and lazy and not really doing anything with his life. But now I think I'm, you know, senior, moving on to better things and just continuing my path.
You know, did you ever think that football past high school was going to be something that you wanted to do?
100%. Yeah, the second I played, the second I stepped on sophomore year, I knew I wanted to play. I mean, I played in eighth grade, but eighth grade I was, you know, definitely the weird season because of COVID,
Mhm.
and then didn't really count. But sophomore year, I stepped on that field, and I just love the feeling of playing football.
Yeah. So, so I know that this, you know, before we get to what's next, I know that graduation is going to be in a few days. Uh,
Mhm.
I always ask this of like graduating seniors, like, did you ever think that this day would come?
Honestly, like I knew it was gonna happen, like I knew it was gonna graduate, but it came so fast. Like it, in the blink of an eye. Now that you're looking back, it's just like the flash. It was really fast.
Yeah. Did you ever watch The Flash on CW or anything like that?
Um, Not really. I don't know if I'm really a Barry Allen type fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Marvel type guy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to insert
No,
that.
you're good.
Um, but as you kind of like um as you look at, walking out of that place, was it emotional to kind of leave out? I mean, obviously you'll have this the entire summer to see everybody, but I know that football is actually might be starting a little bit early for you.
Hmm.
And we'll get to that. We'll get to that later as well. But like saying goodbye to everybody, as everyone goes their separate ways.
Hmm.
And obviously, I know most of you will see each other, but obviously not as much as you guys did.
Yeah.
What's that going to be like for you to kind of, see everybody like a graduation? They always say the last time that you all will be together, and you probably will not see a lot of those people ever again.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely a little sentimental, thinking about all the friendships and memories we made with all these people. And then, you know, you're thinking about it like you're not going to really see them for possibly a long time or just never again. It's definitely kind of emotional and a little sad even.
Yeah. Is it going to be tough for you to say goodbye to everybody?
Um, I don't think it's going to be super tough, but it definitely will be a little bit emotional. Definitely going to keep in contact with as much people as I can, especially some of my favorite teachers. You know, they always say like, "Oh, reach out to us if you need any help or anything like that." So,
Yeah. So you're continuing your football career, into this fall, but you're doing something that I think there's something that kind of started is kind of brand new. It's or kind of just got off the ground, taking a JUCO approach in football with the Lead Prep Academy, and obviously a lot of these are popping up everywhere. Um, you know, what is it like to kind of take part in this thing that hasn't been around for a while?
it's definitely a lot. It's definitely new to me, especially with, continuing with school. But it's definitely new to me. I mean, it's as what I know, it's pretty much the same as Rochester football so far. A lot of weight room work and on the field work with all these separate coaches. But JUCO, I know it's going to be a lot tougher than high school football. So just taking that extra step is something I'm preparing for.
Yeah. And obviously JUCO has been pretty successful, with baseball and because that's how it's been working for years. You go play 2 years and then you're off to another. off to your next destination.
Mm.
But um, for you, it's like it's gonna be you're going all the way out to somewhere I'm very familiar with, within the Brighton area. Obviously, you know me, that's where I live. But one of the what is it going to be like going to, somewhere that you really haven't seen a lot, going and playing at the Legacy Center, and playing games, and still going to taking colleges through Washtenaw Community College and all that fun stuff. What's that all going to be like for you?
It's definitely going to be really like something that I have to adjust to. Because I've lived in Rochester for basically my whole life, and it's like basically where I grew up. So it's definitely going to be a really big change, going out to a whole new, like basically a whole new part of Michigan, a place that I'm, like you said, haven't been to a lot, but I know the Legacy Sports Complex really well. Um, and then, you know, obviously got the coaches there to help me find my way around and all the staff at Washtenaw. So it'll be something to adjust to.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll like this town a lot.
Yeah.
Coming from somebody that's lived there all his life,
Mhm.
it's a nice place to. It's got everything you need. You got a lot of stores, a lot of places. We got enough grocery stores and all that fun
That's
stuff.
good. Yeah.
It is it's a really nice place. And I'm just not saying that because I live there.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Good.
So, for you, as you like, go through like, graduation, stuff like that, as you kind of think back, what's like the biggest thing you've thought about, like, or that that's popped up in your head the last few days, like with just coming to like this chapter closing and a new one opening?
I think the main thing is trying to, make new friends, especially with, going to a new school. And then obviously with this new football team. I don't know a lot of people, so I'm gonna have to, adjust and then, talk to as many people as I can. So
Yeah.
it'll definitely be a little weird, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lucas, thanks so much for spending some time with us, and congrats on graduation, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.